What is up, guys? Poledoo here. Welcome back to some more Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Last time we had our rematch, the Blood of Eagle and Lion, back to Grandor, and it was great. I mean, I love the map to begin with, but the extra, or the new, different story stuff, all the CGs, sure, it was contrived. I would agree to that. But I would say contrived doesn't necessarily mean unenjoyable. At least for me personally. I thought it was really fun. Sure, some things could have been done better, but this is some good shit. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what happens now.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Heartstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Okay. Says Dimitri's turned his mind to the kingdom, so...
Our victory at Grandor was certainly a turning point for us.
Well, for one, I think what I was kind of speculating at the end of last episode, I think this might be where Dimitri is finally, like, we cracked him. We can finally, like, get in his mind. We can talk to him. He'll participate with us. That's what I'm thinking. But also, it made it seem like, I mean, we'll see in due time, but from the way the narrator put it, it makes it seem like we're gonna completely turn around, go all the way up to the kingdom, then come back and finish Edelgard. But we'll have to see.
However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
There are no lords we can rely on. Is there no way to secure more soldiers? Ah, okay, so this would make sense as to why. My thoughts and how it seemed from the narrator is we're going back to the kingdom. We're gonna take down the kingdom, make it our own, which would make sense with the Return of the King or whatever the hell the chapter was just called.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing. I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness, if we can win back Ferdinand, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdinand, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in.
Fuck yeah,
I
Dimitri.
will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No. Something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
Count me in.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Such a feel-good oh, what's happening now? Yes! Yes, Dimitri! Finally! What you doing?
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was just about to finish. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago.
What wounds?
The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder.
You mean like a day ago? Yeah, I mean, understandable.
Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
Who was she?
I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time.
Oh, it's like, wait, what? Why?
It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years, especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast, and that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated, because I stole, and because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with.
It's part of the job.
Yes, as one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end.
We can confront it together.
Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
All right, that was a good A support. His paralog's not open yet, so I guess that'll be maybe next month. So another kind of empty chapter that we're gonna have today. But certification-wise, Cyril, I think certifications we're done. We don't really need to do anything. If we check goals, Dimitri's goals are back open, so he can. Yep. Okay. We're gonna go full flying because he's at A in land, so we don't need to continue pumping that. But I do want more flying for sure. And then of course all of his supports are open. Is it just him? Oh, Shamir and Dedu's B is open. I wonder why that was triggered just now. But yeah, at the end, similar to how we did with Dedu last month, We're gonna get all of Dimitri's supports at the end of this episode. But alright, let's get to exploring. But beforehand, I did mention I wanted to change Dimitri's appearance, but only after he was available for supports whenever he joins us. So you'll finally take a shower. Boom. Look at that. Hell yeah. Okay. I think that's all we have to do here, so let's go talk to everyone.
The Emperor was wounded at Gronder Field. What do you think is going on in the Empire now? The Leicester Alliance has really suffered a blow as well. Who knows what will become of them? From now on, we have to pay close attention to how the rest of Fódlan is doing.
I am very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. It is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Fyrdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It is a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward.
Edelgard, Claude, His Highness, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
The fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
It seems we will soon set foot in Fyrdiad. I used to live there, you know, though that was before my time in the Officers' Academy. That's right. I was enrolled at the School of Magic there for a time. Trouble within the kingdom forced me to return to Alliance lands. There was much I had yet to learn.
Fighting with 3 different groups in the mix was as confusing as it was difficult to survive. Enemies and allies dying, one on top of the other. What an absolute mess, huh? If only I had my infirmary out in Gronder. Maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
If we're headed to the kingdom capital, that means we're further away from rescuing Lady Rhea. But it can't be helped, can it? Perhaps some people will question this decision, but I trust your judgment. Lady Rhea would want us to help in Fyrdiad. She'd scold us if we rescued her and left innocent people suffering.
It seems we are headed for the kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Dimitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
There's a school of sorcery in Fyrdiad, which is staffed by the top minds of magical research. The study of crests and sorcery should not be separate. I've often thought I should pay them a visit someday. I never imagined I might end up invading the place with an army, though. Not how I imagined it at all.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
So many people died in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Fyrdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine. You're right. It's an important battle, so let's make sure we're ready for anything.
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done.
But if His Highness is owning up to his past and trying to move forward, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
I can still hardly believe we managed to win against numbers like that. Oh, unless the real me is lying dead in Gronder and this is all just a happy dream.
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kinda useful at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Up until a few decades ago, Ferdiad was a disorderly city. Even the water supply was poorly constructed. As such, it was a hotbed of sickness and disease. The late king hired a researcher named Cornelia, who advised that he give top priority to improving the city's infrastructure. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed into a place of beauty and order. At the same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another. It was miraculous.
The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything. Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Myrden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Fódlan? Something about those with power knowing how to use it. If he's not careful, the goddess will send her Saids to smite him. Not that I believe that.
Can you believe it, Professor? Dimitri actually apologized to me. Remember that awful business between him and my Uncle Randolph? He just came by and said he was sorry for all that. That was behind us as far as I was concerned. But even so, it seems like he's changed for the better.
If you manage to take back Ferdiad, it'll make it a bit easier for us to do business. Taxes in the Fargus Dukedom are ridiculously high. Makes it hard to even think about trading. That Cornelia woman. What does she use that ample tax money for anyway? From the Empire's perspective, I suppose it makes sense to squeeze the former kingdom territories for all they're worth. But if they throw those territories into total ruin, doesn't that defeat the purpose of conquering them?
Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die. But I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah, well. I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fódlan knows peace.
It's Annette's birthday, so of course we gotta go have a tea party. She likes sweet apple blend, rose petal blend, and almond blend. Sweet apple blend right here.
I'm here for a visit. I love this tea. Is it a favorite of yours as well? Thank you. It's
Okay.
so good. Okay.
Fódlan's future. Nope. Exploring the monastery. Okay.
Huh?
Your ambitions, yes. Cats? Unfortunately, no. Annette, no. Why? Why? The existence of Krasno working together. Not cats, man. I feel betrayed.
When I'm with you, I feel like I can be myself.
Laugh and blush are the valid answers here. Both are here. Let's do blush. Okay, let's see.
I'm thinking of changing my hair.
Okay.
I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Ooh, it's piping hot. I'm thinking of changing my...
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if there was gonna be a third one there or not.
Thanks for the treat. It was so yummy.
All right. Charm increase. And then I do have Dimitri and Dedu both in flying.
You excel at this. Will you help me again sometime to do?
Naturally.
Then let's carry on as usual. Oh, and you had better leave some work for me.
Okay.
Surprisingly, the result was not great. I feel we should have been able to do better.
Perhaps. But our work may still be sufficient.
I mean, it still said good, so whatever. Nothing about eating weeds here.
I'll do my best with this.
Ooh, I didn't realize Mercedes still needed more spells. Ragnarok
I'll make good use of this power.
was the only two that got a rank up in something. Okay. So is Mercedes now done? I think A is the last on the entire spell learn table. Let's see. Blue Lion's Mercedes, yeah, Ragnarok is the last reason spell. Faith. Fortify was the last faith spell. So yeah, now she has everything. Cool. I was learning some bow in the background for her, because I actually don't know if she can wield yet. Let's see, get rid of that. Don't know why you're holding that. No, what does it need? B, oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know, take the blessed bow, because why not? I was just thinking, if she's... I figured it would be C, and she's been at D+ for a bit. Just figured might as well just push that to C, but needs B. Maybe I'll learn it, just to have it as a New Game Plus option or something. But okay. Well. There's not really a whole lot going on. What kind of battles do we have sitting around here? There's... Rout the bandits in the desert, there's something special here, so I guess we'll do this together. And then we'll, I guess, reconvene at the end of the month for all the supports. Okay, so desert. There's another silver weapon, unfortunately. Okay. Anything particularly nasty looking? No, I mean, there's what? 2 mages. One of them actually in the sand. Been a long day. Let's see.
I'm your girl.
A gambit here. That hits Dedu.
Thank you.
Run in here. Silver sword. Hell yeah.
I will break you.
Let's go.
Had to be done.
So I got Gilbert on Dedu. Try and get that last Gilbert support. Cyril is... Okay, let's dismount.
I'll cut through.
Dismount.
Ready when you are.
I can dismount you as well. Okay. Still can't.
Onward.
Alright, Flame go there. Draw back. Still no?
I'd be honored.
Okay, shove. There we go. Look at my options more before just hitting A. But whatever. It was mostly for Cyril and anything else. Alright, we'll come in here. Short spear. And we'll get Silver Sword.
Hate me if you must.
What's the plan?
What's my strategy?
Curve shot
It won't be in
for the extra range, just to get away from the warrior. Give the warrior to someone else. Oh, we're gonna master Swordmaster today. We can finally use Astra. See what it looks like. This is not a actual skill in this game, it's a combat art. I do want to break that. That's Woot Steel. I would like that. So... let's see here. Smite. Not Deadeye. Shove. Okay. We can take one Armor Knight down with Mercedes.
I had to protect my friends.
And then... not attack. Shove. Well, I don't know why I'm shoving when I can just... I mean, that doesn't kill.
Luck wasn't with you.
Bodied there. Take you down. Man. Let's go for a Ragnarok. It hits real hard. We get, yeah, the Poison Strike afterwards. I'll Retribution that. Sure. And what if we go for an Iron Axe here
Must lead them well.
and just chill right there? That was a crit? Okay, then. She shouldn't have the Tomahawk equip. I thought she did. Oh, it didn't do, like, anything, thankfully. It does keep us in place, though. That's not so good. However, I believe, yeah, a Restore reaches there. So all is good. And then we can... okay. Yeah, perfect.
rolling.
I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to reach with his Gambit, but we can. And then... Oh, and it's cracked, so we shouldn't really have to worry about it. We can come down in here, just do a regular iron axe. We get a crit? No. There's the Woot Steel. Pretty low on that. And Mercedes.
Does this make a difference?
I didn't need to walk up that close, but it's whatever. Let's see. Ingrid, I want you on the gold tile. I'm gonna let you kill with Lewin in hopes that you're about to repair Lewin.
Reassuring.
She also needs the experience anyway.
Hopefully I'll be more useful
Strength,
now.
defense, res. Ah, battalion. Damn. Okay. Well, let's go in here. I guess we'll do that. Enemy phase, he'll master sword master. Put the sword back on. Okay. Ow.
A threat eliminated.
Damn, that hurt.
I
There
must
we go.
admit, I did well.
Okay, 2 HP bars to take down. He's going after Sylvain regardless of what I do. Is there anything Sylvain can do? Seraphim! Ah, yes, because it's anti-monster. Perfect. Forgot about that. Forgot I even had it. Alright, we're going to do a little bit right here. Or a lot, depending on the crit. No crit. Alright. We'll chill right there. Mercedes. Does have a blessed bow. It's still physical damage from Mercedes though, so can only do so much. Go for the kill.
My friends.
All right.
Don't let your guard down.
Yeah. We'll be fine. 9? It cost 9. And it drops our damage. Okay, that's not armor. I was about to say it drops our damage that much. Hold on, let me read the description of Astra. It's minus 10 hit. An attack that strikes 5 times at 30%. Oh, so a third of might. Okay. I still want to see what it looks like, but we still might die. There's not really anything I can do about that. Shove. I might be... No. Just trying to see if I could get Felix over there at all. Not really. Not a good one. Oh, I think the wood steel is for the spear. Because I was trying to repair the spear. And I can't.
Another face to haunt me.
We can definitely Deadeye this dude. No crit, but we hit, and I believe that's all that matters. Ingrid should be able to finish the job now. Maybe. She really have to use the Brave Lance to do so? That one yawn. Can't stop now, goddamn.
Haven't withered away just yet.
Oh, that wasn't, okay, that was set death. Like another defense res level for her? Hey. Should have used an elixir. All right.
Thank you.
Some more damage in there. Assist, recover.
I am prepared.
Okay. So, combat arts, Astra, Silver Sword. God, Astra with Thunderbrand. Doesn't do any extra hits. I was like, 10 hits because it's a Brave? No, it's still combat art. And it does add more crit because Thunderbrand. But he has, the way I see it is, it's 5 chances for a lethality.
Ineffective.
Okay, I'm glad there was at the, well, actually, that did, I have a feeling those 5 hits, can you get a lethality or anything in between that? It kind of doesn't seem like it, based on its animation. Its animation's cool, but it also kind of seems like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not too fast to get a crit in between it, or a lethality in there somewhere.
This
Take you
could
down.
turn the tides.
But if I can't get, if I have to get the crit and lethality on the first hit, I don't see a point in using it at all. Okay, well, I'll get through the goddamn sand for these last 2. Because also the 9 durability. It's nasty. Alright, a little bit there. Crit and or lethality. Nope. Okay. Probably, nope. Way too far away to be able to do anything. Yeah. I don't want to use another spear. I can bolt axe. There we go. Can't reach.
Child's play.
Destruction.
Looking good.
Short spear, does it? Can I get that crit, please? No? Alright. It's gonna attack Flame. Which is whatever. Yeah, no one up. Just end the turn. Attack Flame. It doesn't matter. He's like, that's your funeral. Level 40. 30 strength. Oh! Strength, dex, speed, and defense. That is essentially a perfect level for her. God damn. Okay. Well. Good shit. Wait, what is that picture of? I don't know. I'm excited for heading to the kingdom because it seems like we might be seeing some new maps now, especially considering what this preview picture is showing. I don't recognize that anywhere. But okay. Moving on.
How best to use this skill?
Hopefully this proves useful.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
I'm so...
This experience is critical. It's all instinct. I've learned a thing or two from...
Who helped me? War is an effective teacher.
That worked out well.
It's starting to feel like a part of me.
It's all instinct now.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Hello, Professor. Did you want to see me? This tea is my favorite. You have very good taste, Professor. Thank you so much. Ah, very calming. Yes. Wow. Yes. Wow. As I continue to grow, I've learned not to regret the choices I've made. Yes. I know it's a luxury, but I take my skincare very seriously. So delicious. Oh, was there something you were looking for? I know it's a luxury. That was delicious. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad I passed.
Okay, so we have quite a lot of supports. Of course, most of these here are Dimitri's, but there are a good amount we have that aren't. We have the final one with Seteth and Ingrid, which I believe is the final Ingrid support outside of Dimitri. Dorothea, I force-fed her flowers, so she finally has an A support with Byleth, and then we got the B support with Lorenz there. Caspar finally got the A support here, and then all that's left is to really try and get that. And I believe that's it. Oh, Gilbert and Dedu's not open yet. But let's do those and then just run down all of Dimitri. So, Seteth and Ingrid.
Seteth, do you have a moment?
Certainly. Have you arrived at a decision about what you would like your future to be?
I think so. I was hoping I might ask for your opinion on the subject.
I am flattered. Please proceed.
I want to serve as a knight and protect my homeland. I know this through and through. It has been my truth for as long as I can remember. However, I feel I should choose a path that would benefit my father. I was raised by him in a happy home, never wanting for anything, despite my family's meager finances. I owe it to him to choose a path he'd approve of.
If that is the decision you have reached after such careful deliberation, then I have no objections. But may I ask you something?
Please, go ahead.
Have you actually had a conversation with your father about this?
I have not. There hasn't been time to pay him a visit. He did permit me to join this war, but I was brash about my departure. I left forcibly.
In that case, it is all the more important that you speak to him.
Perhaps. My father is an obstinate man. At this point, I'm not sure he'd care to hear what I have to say.
I do not know the man well, so perhaps it is not my place to judge. However, I do know what it's like to fret constantly over one's family. If he is as doting a father as you say, then he will want to know how you truly feel. I do not think he will refuse your wishes if you share them with him honestly. Of course, if your decision remains the same after speaking with him, then so be it.
Sedith, thank you. You're right. I should talk to him. I've spent so much time thinking about how stubborn he is, that I've neglected to acknowledge my own part in all this. Rather than blaming him, I need to recognize how stubborn I myself have been. Maybe if I open up and allow for vulnerability, he will too.
That is the way. Hold your head up high and stride forward into the unknown.
I will, and I will keep your words close to my heart. Thank you for everything, Sedith.
That was a really good support. That whole line. Good old Sedith. Alright. Lawrence and Dorothea B.
Looking as lovely as ever today, Dorothea.
Oh, save it for your noble girls, Lawrence. I'm not in the mood.
I was only being polite.
And it really was quite wonderful to be so near your elegance. Now, if you'll please excuse me.
Now hold just a moment. I have tolerated quite enough of this impertinence. Not a word has escaped my lips to imply that you are anything less than a highly attractive woman. But I am the heir to a noble house. I have a duty. Thus, I am unable to engage in courtship with you. What is it about my circumstances that you seem to find so very amusing?
All of it? You're no different from the men who flirted with me when I was in the opera. As long as you're getting what you're after, you don't much care what a woman wants, needs, or feels.
That is truly what you think of me? I am afraid you have completely misunderstood.
Oh, have I? Do explain.
If noble status were my only priority, then I could be married 100 times over by now. But birthright is not sufficient for me. I am not looking merely for an accessory. Marriage is a relationship of mutual respect, support, and trust. If my wife and I are of the same mind and of the same worth, then together we can achieve anything. That is why I make overtures to so many ladies. I am in search of an ideal.
You're searching for someone who matches your vision of a perfect spouse? How odd. So am I. And everyone else.
My standards are somewhat more exacting, but yes, I suppose on that point we are similar. Please understand that I'm acting with the best of intentions in search of a partner.
You're more serious than I thought. And so earnest, it's almost adorable. If you met a peasant girl and fell madly in love, would you be able to give her up? Break her heart?
I would have no choice. The worlds of the nobility and the common folk are simply too far apart. I cannot choose to abandon my duty merely for the sake of a fleeting emotion.
Lawrence, you're dangerously close to dedicating your life to the lie that nobility is something special. I hope you realize that before it's too late.
Okay, I like the turn this one's taking. I mean, this is typical for all Lawrence's supports. Dorothea and Byleth, A support.
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with.
So you found me out.
Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger?
I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Mittelfrank Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts. I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade. My voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started.
I won't let you be alone.
That's sweet of you, even if you are just flirting. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
Okay. Another great one. And then while we're at it, let's get the Caspar Byleth A support.
Do you have a minute, Professor? I gotta talk to you. I've been thinking a lot about those brigands with the scorpion tattoos, and I realized something. I mean, I'll feel better if I get this off my chest, right?
Let's hear it.
Okay, listen. I can't deny who I am. I know you were right 5 years ago when you told me not to chase after that suspicious guy, but I still can't get over the possibility that he might have hurt those kids. I would have regretted not stopping him for the rest of my life. There's no way I could forgive myself. It sounds awful to say, but the safety of those kids is more important to me than the knights we lost. I'm sorry, Professor, but I can't promise that I won't disobey your orders in the future.
That's okay.
I know. It's too big a risk to keep me around. I won't cause a fuss. I'll just pack my bags and... Wait, what?
I was like, I think you misunderstood.
I guess so. You're really okay with me sticking around? Even if I might not always follow orders? People could get hurt if you let me keep doing things my way.
We'll make it work.
Just like that? I almost can't believe it. I really struggled to come to this decision, you know? I want to stand by your side, but I won't stop standing up for what I believe in. I know I might cause trouble for everyone, but I just... You know, I give up. I've got nothing else to say. I should have just kept my mouth shut.
It's okay, I'm counting on you.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Professor. Thanks for accepting me for who I am. I'm glad I get to keep fighting by your side.
All right. Good job, Caspar. Good on you. All right, I believe... Oh wait, there's a Dedu Shamir. Let's do that one, and then I believe it's just Dimitri.
Dutiful as ever, Dedu.
What are you suggesting?
You're always busy delivering messages.
You mean His Highness's orders?
Does he need you to run such trivial errands?
He should not trouble himself over them. I am honored to attend His Highness, and to represent him in all matters. Ever since he saved my life, serving him has given me reason to live.
Reason to live? Huh.
Your relationship to the Archbishop seems similar.
Not quite. I joined the Knights to repay a debt I owed Rhea. The debt's been repaid, so she's nothing more than a former employer.
Then you are not motivated by loyalty.
Not especially. I wouldn't call Rhea my reason to live.
And if a higher-paying employer comes along?
I'd consider it. That's what mercenaries do.
Then yes, we are completely different.
Everyone's different. I'm not trying to criticize your loyalty. I've seen a lot of people like you all over the world. They don't tend to last very long, though. Try not to end up like them.
Thank you for the warning.
Okay. Wonder where that one's gonna end up. But alright. It's time to run down. Let's do Gilbert's first. Because almost everything here is gonna be an A support.
Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission. There
is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Faerghus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness. But there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth. If only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Okay. From the top, A support. You know what? I feel like we should leave that one for last. So, from the top, -1. Felix.
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that.
That was good. I like that. The admittance from Felix. So good. Mercedes A.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count. I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You're a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
Kind? Me? No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill. So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Mercedes, I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died. Who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet, whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought. What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Please, I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes, I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's spend a little more time here together. Just the two of us.
Cute. A net A, and then there's an A+, okay.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweets shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time. Right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind.
Another cute one, okay. Ingrid A.
Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone, but perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh ho ho.
Oh? Well then, Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course.
Yep, just a night.
Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business, putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
Okay. Ingrid getting flustered on all her supports is pretty great. Okay. Marianne, the B and C were so good.
Spared again.
So it would seem. I told you that you were extraordinarily lucky.
Sometimes I think that must be true. But why me? Is this the goddess's way of telling me to make something of myself? There are so many others who are much more deserving of life.
I often think the same of myself, especially after battles where many lives were lost. But I must go on living. I cannot give in to death so readily. It is my duty to atone for my sins and to pay for the lives I've taken. I suppose that must be why the goddess allows me to live on.
Is there a reason she allows me to live?
Only you can know that. But I believe there is a reason. Marianne, life is difficult.
It is a burden. It feels terrible to continue standing when so many others had to fall.
If that is so, then carry on as you are. There is no need for you to force yourself to smile as your soul bleeds. But please, whatever you do, do not give up on yourself or your precious life.
What do you mean?
If you were to die, I would be devastated.
You never have been easy to read.
Is that so?
Everyone says that I need to cheer up, but you may be the first person to tell me not to. Your life must also be difficult for you to understand my position.
So it is. I often feel I am not strong enough to live it.
I think our difficulties have brought us closer together.
Do you?
Absolutely. Please, Dimitri, promise you'll live through this war and long after. I don't know what I'd do with myself if we lost you.
As long as you are carrying on, I have yet another reason to carry on myself. I promise to the goddess of Fódlan that I will never give you cause to despair.
I love their support together because they're like, out of the entire cast, essentially, they're like the only two that really can understand each other deep, deep down. That's good shit. Alright, Flane A. This is the one of the cooking supports.
up this late practicing with your lance, are you?
And what about you? Have you got something on your mind again? You really should go to bed. It is chilly out, and you could catch cold. What's the matter? Have you been having nightmares?
Well, in a certain sense, yes. Can you spare a moment?
Of course.
Thank you. I want to apologize to you. When last we spoke, I mishandled the situation.
Your words that night touched me deeply. It felt as though I had been punched in the gut. But more importantly, I think I owe you an apology. I lied to you.
You did?
Do you recall when I ate that meal you cooked and I told you it was delicious? The truth is that no matter what I eat, I can scarcely taste it. I have not had my sense of taste for 9 years now.
My cooking certainly is not something people often compliment me on.
I am sorry. When I said the food was good, I was just saying what I thought you would want to hear.
An apology is not necessary. You were only trying to be kind, after all.
In the end, I am not sure it was kind.
Just the same, it was nice to hear. Oh, hey! I have an idea! What if you sampled some really pungent food? Or something extremely spicy? Maybe that would...
Flame.
Yes?
I like your cooking. I cannot taste it properly, but in my book, it is truly delicious.
No need for the flattery. Anyhow, maybe someday you will get your taste back. I hope then you will be able to compliment me sincerely about my cooking.
Okay. It was a strange one through and through, but still nice. Okay, this one's probably gonna be awkward considering how it started and where we're at now. But we'll see.
We should have been more careful. Those monsters really got the better of us.
I must apologize, Alois. If only I had paid closer attention.
No, it's all right. We've got more important things to do than dwell on our mistakes.
It hurts. I don't want to die yet.
Ugh. How did it come to this?
Indeed. With morale this low, we may yet have trouble making it back to the monastery.
We weren't expecting that attack, after all. It gave us a nasty shock. So we can't just leave. The Knights could use some inspiration. Listen up, everyone. We're going to carve ourselves a safe path back home to Garreg Mach Monastery. But first, I want you all to hear me out.
Alois, what exactly are you...
A long time ago, Captain Geralt and I defended a small village from a band of thieves.
Is he about to tell them a joke as they're, like, exhausted and wounded? Oh, no.
After we defeated those hoodlums, the captain observed how ugly they were. Such hideousness ought to be illegal, he said. If it were up to me, I would have banned it.
Oh, no. No, I was waiting for his jokes to start, but time and place. Alois, why?
Then he walked up to the leader of the village and handed over a big bag of coins. A gift from the thieves, he said. They were dying to give it to you.
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time for...
That's what I'm saying. This dude's dying. He's wounded. He's like, he doesn't want to die. What? Dimitri, don't encourage it.
Oh, Alois, how do you come up with those jokes? That last one was positively hilarious.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a natural.
This is... I don't even know what to think right now.
I guess we should just join in.
Okay. Wait, what's the support with Alois? Oh, we have, you know what, while we're on Alois, might as well. pit stop over here. Be support.
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing?
Yeah.
You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble.
Maybe if you were quieter.
Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade. I was hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip.
Oh?
He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life.
What? Crest can make people live longer? Well, like, is it all crests? Or just certain crests? Knowing what we know about some of the people in this game. It's just that crest can make people live longer, question mark?
Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100.
Whoa!
And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like?
He did nothing but drink.
In other words, he was exactly the same. When I was his squire, he was always hollering for a drink. He just wouldn't put a cork in it. But on the battlefield, he was unequaled. That's why people used to call him the Blade Breaker. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Now I'm very curious what crests he has. Or I guess had. But over 100. We finally got some sort of number associated. Okay. Well, back to Dimitri. Catherine A.
That was delicious. Wow, I'm full. Nothing beats a big meal after a training session. Okay, what's up? You seem distracted.
Oh, my apologies, Catherine. I was just wondering whether you had any desire to return to Fargus.
No, I haven't even entertained the idea. My loyalty lies elsewhere. No matter what, I'm going to find Lady Rhea. That's what I'm fighting for.
May I ask why you have devoted yourself to Lady Rhea?
It's simple. I adore her. Lady Rhea isn't just kind, but strong and courageous. I think she's a wonderful, beautiful person. More so than anyone else in the world.
Wow. I'm not sure I can compete with that.
You can't. My reluctance to return to Fargus isn't about you, though. Ever since I met Lady Rhea, going back just hasn't been an option.
That is a shame. I am certain Fargus could use your help in the near future. House Karen is one of the most sterling noble families after Fraldarius and Gautier. It would be reassuring to know that you had taken up your position as head of that house. Is something wrong?
You need someone who's like me, but more noble. You're so stern and serious all the time. Sorry, I'm not going back. Besides, my father is alive and well, fulfilling the duties of House Karen. I have plenty of capable brothers and sisters who can take over after him. I'll keep serving Lady Rhea here, and you'll bring the kingdom together at the capital. We have to direct our talents wherever they're most useful and most needed, right?
Well,
Anyway, early day tomorrow. Don't want to stay up too late. You better go to bed.
And there's still an A+ there. Interesting. And finally, the Dedu Dimitri A support.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Though they are still deep, these are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. And besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
Dedu, you say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, Dedu, perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscur blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscur and the people of Fódlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
Dedu. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
Emotions. That was so good. Alright. As far as Dimitri goes, we just got A+ with Flane, B and C with Gilbert, B+ with Eloise, and A+ with Catherine. Alright. Well, popcorn time with Dimitri is complete. Another monastery complete as well. Next time we'll be taking on... I don't actually know. I'm excited. I mean, we kind of know. We're going to the kingdom. Ferdiad, I think, specifically. But beyond that, no clue. So I'm excited. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you next time. Bye.